Okay, Di Santo. No, Dino Santo. Okay, I'm going to try the Sicilian. Okay, he's going for a very fast kind of Sicilian with the knight recapture here. Well, actually, this just transposes into an ordinary Sicilian. If he wanted something different, he had to take with the queen. He could still take with the queen. But yeah, this is back to the main line of the Sicilian. And this is the classical Sicilian with knight on c6. Okay, taking is not the best. So I guess he's going to just take my queen. Trade queens, and it's not worth a pawn. Trading queens is not worth a pawn. I'm just going to take that pawn. I mean, I was considering avoiding it just because I don't like these games where my queen is gone, but objectively speaking, it's totally not worth it. His knight doesn't have any good moves. This is a loose pawn here. I could move my king back. I think just blockading is fine. Now with both these pawns here, I can put my knight on a good square. If he trades it off, it undoubles my pawns. Okay, let's make sure I'm not pinned here. There, now his bishop is hanging. If he takes here, I take back with a pawn, so he can't break through on this square except by sacrificing. And the bishop goes with check, so whatever he does has to be pretty forcing. If he just takes it, then I take with my king, unpins, and I keep my extra pawn. Well, since he played so quickly, well, we're only on move 11 and the queens are already off and there's only 3 pieces. Yeah, so he stepped aside with his bishop. So I should move my king out of the way. I think we'll go to this side and bring the rook in. Maybe bring the bishop in first, I'm not sure. I can consider taking his bishop too. But I think what I'd like to do is push this pawn and then bring the bishop out here. Get rid of the light squared bishop. It's very important that this pawn here on c6 is guarding against the encroachments of his knight. Yeah, so he got tired of it. Got tired of looking at that. Decided to take it, but now I've got a clean extra pawn because he's even gotten rid of my doubled pawn that I had. Can I trap his bishop? It can go here. Let's go with this plan. I was checking to see if he could take any of these pawns over here. I mean, I could also consider just pushing. But there's no need to be in a hurry here. Okay, let's defend this pawn. First we'll defend it this way, and then maybe we'll defend it with the bishop. So he decided to step aside. So now if I put my bishop here, he can take here with check. which would be sad. And let's put the bishop here. Threaten to take this pawn. So he defends it. Now let's just push this bishop back. Okay, so he decided to go there. Now I can trade bishops. This is pretty much a forcing trade because this pretty much forces a trade because if he moves the bishop to the side, I take his rook. So. Then I will gang up on this pawn, the b pawn, it looks like. He can defend that with the bishop. Although it looks like he's in no hurry to do that. He's maybe eyeing this square, so if I had moved my rook here, he could pin it. So I do have to take care of that. Got to be careful. Now we can't do that anymore, so let's go ahead and go here. Let's see what his plan is. Yeah, his bishop was better on this diagonal than where it is now. If he pushes the pawn, I'll just take his bishop and then I'll take the pawn. Or I could just take the pawn right away because he takes my bishop with check, but it's no big deal. I have a nice passed pawn on the e file. This will be the winner. In fact, it's just 2 moves away from delivering a pretty nasty fork here. Let's erase some of those letters. Erase some of those characters. Okay, so he doesn't mind. He's going to say, I can take this pawn and he will take that one, huh? I wonder if that's true, though. I think he should mind. Because I do get this pretty serious discovered check here. Oh, he gets that discovered check. Ah, okay, good point. Not discovered check. He gets that check. Was not a discovered check. It was just a check. This king is in pretty limited. Okay, so check. His king goes here or here. Then check. His king goes here or here. And I take a rook. Oh, I just marched this pawn down and made him, huh? Go here, he takes. He starts checking me, though. I don't know if that's so great. Let's try something here. I decided to go that way. Just trying to get these in a position where they could help me promote this pawn. One step closer, also threatening mate, because now this rook is defended, so I can move the other rook to the side and threaten to mate him. And he can't immediately check me, so he resigned. Here, let's take a minute to look at the analysis board. I'm not sure that was totally resignable. He was also short on time. Oh yeah, there's a mate in 11. Not that I necessarily would have seen it. Mate in 11. So his best move is here. And then, yeah, I was planning rook c3 check. King goes here. Then, yeah, this threatens mate again. He goes here. What do I do? Is there anything good about this? It's probably not the best. Yeah, not the best. If he takes the rook, then I can check, and then queen. So I end up a rook up. So this would win anyway. And if he takes the pawn, then I double my rooks, and I'm also a rook up. But there's more fight, so the mating lines that was not the best in terms of actually checkmating. In terms of checkmating, the best way is to push the pawn once, plays the rook there, play e3. Then queen to distract the rook, okay. And then take the other rook. Let's see, okay, he can check me. Then I can go here threatening to mate him. He steps over here to stop the mate. And I take here. Why does it still say mate at 11? I thought we were going down. Mate and 8. Rook takes e3. Mate and 8. So I play rook takes e3. Mate and 7. Did I play the wrong move there? Rook a6 check. Mate and 7 still. King b5. Yeah, this is a different line than it showed me the first time, right? Rook e2. Rook to a8. Rook takes g2. Okay, this threatens mate. Rook to b8 check. Step aside. Rook takes c8 check. Then you queen. And that's mate. All he can do is do that. Okay, so that was a mate. Not that I would have seen that, but there was certainly ways to get a rook up and then just get a win somehow or other. Anyway, pretty good game, I thought. Let's see if we can get a rapid game. Here we go. Nico, and I'm black again. Let's see. I just played a Sicilian. I played a French recently and a classical e4, e5. So time to branch out. Maybe play a Scandinavian. I think it's interesting. And then I play the line with knight f6. And he just plays d5 rather than going for anything tricky. There are stronger lines against this. But this actual d5 line is what I play, because unless you're a specialist, you don't know all the ins and outs of the fancy lines. This just gives white a solid advantage. So the question, as always in cases like this, is can I sneak my bishop out? going to start by playing c6. Put a little restraint on the center. And then if he lets me, I'm going to play bishop to g5, g4. Maybe I could have played that right away. Yeah, he's going to allow this. And I plan to trade this bishop off. So I'm going to be playing this fianchetto here with my dark squared bishop and not worry about him kicking this bishop around. Okay, I think we have a pretty good setup here. I think white has a good setup too. So I'm not quite sure what the coordination of all his pieces is that he's going for. He's going for the b pawn here, huh? If I put my queen on c7, I do have to worry about him putting a bishop there. For example, pawn here and then bishop here. Could go queen c8. If I go b6, which is maybe kind of a natural move, it leaves this c pawn kind of weak. So I am just going to play here. Like I said, I'm going to give away this bishop, not give it away, trade it for the knight if I need to. So he doesn't want to trade the bishop for the knight. Okay, well, in this case, I can come back here, defend this pawn, looking at the center here. Right, if he pushes the pawn, knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes, is looking pretty good for me. Discovered attack on the queen and the hanging knight. So yeah, if I was white, I would have taken me up on the offer and forced a trade of the bishop for the knight, because then white would have the advantage of the bishop pair. This way it appears I will get to complete my development. This move here is next. Just checking to see if there's something else. I mean, there's also a knight here. He trades it off. But yeah, I don't necessarily want to take that dark squared bishop, so let's not do that. Yeah, so he's thinking maybe of sacrificing the knights. I'm not sure what this is. If I take this knight now, he has to take with a pawn. And I can go here, hitting the bishop. And if he kicks it, if he moves the bishop, you know, I always have this square here. I don't see a problem with this. Maybe he's thinking of taking my bishop. I'll just take back with the queen. He can grab a pawn over here, but I'll be winning this pawn. Yeah, I guess that's what he thought. He thought threatening this light squared bishop would be a good thing. wonder if I could play b5 here. If he takes, I take the queen, but I guess he trades this off first. Okay, now he's offering a kind of trade. I take this pawn, he takes this pawn. I attack the bishop. Just wondering if there's any way to exploit this piece here. It's almost hanging, right? The knight is attacking and the queen's defending, and I just need to bring one more piece to bear on it. But we ended up, after all, in a very symmetrical pawn structure. And I think after he retreats his bishop, I am just going to take his light squared bishop. I don't see any way to... I mean, I just think that's good. It distracts the queen away from defense of the b-pawn. Ah, he brings his bishop back to defend the b-pawn. Well, this still seems good. And I have a tempo on the queen here. Let's go ahead and use that, and then I'll kick his knight back. So I just need to lift up my queen and connect my rooks, and I will have completed my development. Well, we're only on move 18. He's just been playing pretty aggressively. You got to respond to your opponent's moves. I mean, ideally what you do is you look to ways to respond to your opponent's moves that also help you in bringing out more force and doing all those good things. Yeah, see, he's preventing me from going to c7. So I will go to d8. If he brings the rook out, I can at least bring my queen to b6. I don't see any other threat that he's making here. And having the queen looking at the knight means that his queen is a bit tied down. So I'm expecting him just to play rook to d1. Queen b6. Yeah, he moves this rook to d1. If he moves the other rook, then queen b6. Sorry, and there's this triangulation here on this square. He's not doing that. Okay, well, this is a mate threat. The knight cannot move with check, and my queen is defended anyway, so there's no discovered attack on my queen, which means I can just chase his knight away. I mean, we can get a queen trade and go into an endgame. Yeah, it looks like what he's going for. But I don't have to trade queens here. Is there a way? If I could suddenly remove his knight, if I could remove his knight with tempo, then the queen would be in trouble. I don't see a way to do it. I also can't play, well, I can play queen b6, but I can't really threaten this pawn at all. Let's just go here to c7. Want to bring the other rook to the center. Complete my development. Rook up here would be nice, except that, yeah, he's got it guarded. Yeah, so now this pawn is actually free to move for once. Let's go ahead and oppose rooks. He's got rook and queen on this, but I've got rook and queen defending, so it's okay. And we'll see if the power of the bishop pair is more conspicuous here, or maybe it's the power of the knight, the tricky knight. Yeah, actually, I'm thinking of just trading off that knight for my light squared bishop, because my light squared bishop is not doing much. First of all, let's get my rook out of trouble here. Now, knight here would be interesting. I mean, bishop here would be interesting. Pinning that, huh? I wonder, what if I push this pawn forward? Where would the queen move? If it goes here, I push the bishop back. Probably just goes somewhere that attacks my queen, huh? Rook here, he plays the check. That forces some kind of trade. Okay, I'm going to do king up first and then maybe bring my rook to the 7th rank. This bishop is guarding an entry square here. Yeah, he had the same idea. Use the bishop to force some action. Let's start to look at some other squares here. Looking at a pawn, and also, yeah, rook to here. That's what I'm thinking of. Rook to e2. And the queen is looking at a2, the pawn on a2. Rook is looking at e2. Rook e2 to, no, I can't go that. This knight is playing a mighty role. Let's erase some of the paint. It's guarding this square, where I was thinking I might be nice to go with my bishop. It's defending the queen. It's guarding this square, which is an entry point, and it's guarding this square. Now this is defended, but if he pushes again, I can take it. So yeah, let's activate my rook. Now he has a kind of fork here where he can threaten both my knight and my bishop, but my bishop is defended. I have to be careful though, because he could break this connection by pushing a pawn, and then my bishop, if I have to take back with a pawn, that gets ugly looking. So then the fork becomes kind of annoying. But in the meantime, I'm threatening to just come here, take these pawns. On the queen side, these bishops are looking both at the queen side and the king side. Maybe I could have considered back up. Instead, okay, he wants to chase me out of there. Yeah, makes sense. So where should I go? Let's go here. If I went back to c7, he could just go there again with his bishop. Go to, if I went to c7, he could go to d6 with his bishop. Just chased me away again. If he pushes the pawn to scare my queen away from the square, then I can safely go to c7. His rook, yeah, I'm still guarding this entry square for his rook, so with my bishop. So I'm feeling good about that. And I have two ways to attack this b-pawn, this way or this way. This backwards b-pawn, which is blockaded and can't come forward. So what does white do here? Queen here might be an idea. Attacks this pawn. Oh, no, the rook is covering it. Never mind. Yeah, maybe it's just trouble finding an idea. Okay, so he gave up and decided to push that pawn. But now this bishop is blockaded, so it's no longer contributing to an attack on this square. So I went there. So I thought well, I could force a queen trade now by putting my queen here. That would hit his rook and hit the queen. But I don't actually see that his rook can do anything there. So let's just see if it'll let me take this pawn. What? What happened? Oh, it was a pin. There was a pin there. Oh my gosh, I totally did not see that. Yeah, okay, so because of the pin I can't take the knight, and because of his rook here I have no escape squares, so that way I kind of walked into a mate there. So let's back up a move and see what I should have played here. Yeah, it's actually slightly better for black here, 0.6, but very even. So it was an even game. So I should have forced the trade. I saw that I could do that. I go here. If he moves the queen away, I can take the rook. He can't defend the rook. All right, queen here, I take it. So that forces a trade. And then he's got nothing. But of course, you always have to look out for those little tricks. So it was just a one move blunder, and then it's mate in one. Okay, well, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time. Bye now.